real quick. Get 27:1 real quick, because we have to get our audience. Because Moses, I'm sure you know about Moses, right? Let my people go in the times of Egypt, right? So Moses was speaking to a specific people, okay? This was the audience. Pay attention.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27 and verse 1. And Moses with the elders of Israel.
So Moses was with the elders of Israel, all right? Read.
Commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day.
So Moses with the elders of Israel was commanding to teach the children of Israel the commandments of God, okay? Right. Now, here's the downside. Israel didn't keep the commandments. What were the effects of not keeping the commandments in today? Slavery.
Right.
All right? This is why we went into slavery. We're going to explain it in detail, okay? The Bible is your history.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
Meaning it's a future prophecy. Meaning Moses was telling the children of Israel way back 2,000 years ago, something was going to happen. All right, read.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So if they don't listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, which is this Bible and the commandments, right, read.
To observe to do all his commandments.
To do all the commandments, read.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day. That all these curses.
All these curses. Now, my brother Mike, let me ask you a question. Are curses a good thing or a bad thing?
Bad thing.
They're a bad thing, right? Read.
That all these curses shall come upon thee.
Shall come upon thee.
And overtake thee.
Shall overtake thee, right? Now, jump to verse, 46?
Deuteronomy 28 verse 46. And they,
the curses, right, read,
shall be upon thee for a sign.
They're going to be upon the children of Israel for a sign. So for example, right, you have Sandra Bland, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, right? Why does injustice like that always happen to the children of Israel? Have you ever thought about that? It always happens. It doesn't happen. You never see the Arab community saying, they're marching for justice. You don't see the Chinese community marching for justice. It's always who? The black and brown community, right? It's always us. These curses can be upon us for what?
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder.
And we're going to be wondering why. Why is this happening to us? A sign is used to what? It helps you identify something, right?
Right.
And it's going to be for a wonder. Read.
And upon thy seed.
And upon thy seed, meaning your children, your children's children, for generations, right? Read.
Forever.
Forever. All right? That's what we call today. I'm sure you may have heard it. Generational curses.
Bring it out.
But isn't forever being with non-stop?
It is until something happens. Until we repent and keep God's commandments.
Right.
That's when the curses stop. We have to come together as a nation. We're gonna get you the solution, but we're gonna show you the issues that are happening today in the Bible, and then we're gonna give you the solution.
Right.
All right. Finish out the curses. Let's jump to verse 16, and then we're gonna get the yoke of iron.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city. Now, my brother Mike, how do you think the black and brown community is cursed in the city today?
Self-hatred.
Self-hatred. There you go. That's one. Give me another one.
We hate each other.
We hate each other. Exactly. Self-hatred. Right? What's another one? Let's see. Working all day.
Ignorance.
Ignorance. There you go. Because we didn't keep God's commandments.
Right.
All right. Read.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
My brother Mike, how do you think we were cursed in the field?
Well,
Working for change.
Working for change.
Right.
It's right here. Speed it up to today. What do our so-called Hispanic brothers do? They're in the fields picking strawberries, cabbage all day, lettuce all day. For what? Cents a day?
Right.
That's being cursed in the field. That's still happening today. All right. Read on.
Verse 17.
I'm sorry.
48.
Yep, 48.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Now, my brother Mike, do you think the so-called, and my brother, right now we're going over who our enemies are. Do you think we have enemies today? My brother, you think?
yes, there is enemy, but it's up to what you make out of it.
Oh yeah? What do you mean by that? You mind explaining?
Well, even among us as blacks,
Yeah, we
There
have
are enemies within
right.
and outside of our race.
Right outside of our race. There you go.
So it's across the board.
Okay. Now you're right. We do have enemies within our own nation, but God is talking about a specific enemy here because you as a black man, you didn't put your brother into slavery with yokes of iron on.
Right.
No,
Bring it out.
Blacks were selling blacks.
Oh, you sure about that?
Yes.
Good. Okay, we're gonna get that.
And even to this day, they're still doing it.
My brother Mike, pay attention,
Joel.
okay? Because we're gonna get that. Not yet, but we're gonna get Joel in a second. Finish 48.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So God said He was gonna send enemies against us. Nehemiah 5:5. We're gonna get who these specific enemies were, and then I'm gonna get your point because you brought up something good. There's a big confusion today. We think because they taught us in school that black men sold black men into slavery. We're going to tell you there's a difference. Okay? Hang on, we're going to explain it. Read.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 5 and verse 9. Also I said, it is not good that ye do. Ought ye not to walk in the fear of our God because of the reproach of the heathen, our enemies. So, the heathen are anybody outside of this sign. That's right.
They are our enemies according to the Bible.
Right.
You may not have known that. Well, you had an idea, so I'm not even going to knock you off of that. Anybody outside the 12 tribes of Israel, they are considered our enemies because God said it. Because the Chinese men, they have a China store, right? They own nail salons and hair salons. When our black sisters go into nail salons, what happens? They beat them up, they drag them out the store. Same thing with the Arab man. Same thing with the so-called white man.
Right.
They are not our friends. They have never done us justice. Right? When we were in slavery, who came to help us? Not one of them.
Bring it out.
All right? Finish that out, and then we're going to get Joel, okay?
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So, my brother, because we didn't keep God's commandments, God said He was going to send enemies against us. Okay? Read.
In hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
So in order to eat, you have to go to the enemy. In order to drink, you have to go to the enemy.
Right.
In order to get clothes, you have to go to the enemy. Right. For anything, for a driver's license, a death certificate, we had to go to our enemies. Today, do we own anything?
Yes, we own.
We own. Okay. What do we own?
You see, you own your dignity, your pride, and your self-will.
Okay, good. Anything regarding these matters here, in order to get clothes.
Or material things, among us, we have those things.
Let's say, okay, I'll build with you there. We have businesses, right?
Yes.
For example, like Jay-Z, right? He has his own clothing line. Where does he go get the textiles from?
Yeah, but where do they get the material to make the textile?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
They get it from us.
No. They go from other nations. When you look on your tag, it always says made in what? Made in China, made in Italy.
All material things you can get from Africa.
Okay.
Whether it is in pure form.
Now,
But we allow them.
did we?
That's what he getting at.
Did we?
And
How do you think we allowed them, or did God send the enemies against us?
when we engage in tribalism,
Say again?
when we engage in tribal warfare, tribalism, one tribe against each other, you fighting against your neighbor, which is what we have done in Africa for generations.
Which is called hatred.
And while these places were undeveloped, while these people had no form of formal education, we were scholars, teachers, doctors, philosophers. And look at us now.
Right.
Whose fault is that?
It's ours.
Hey,
But
Deuteronomy 28, 47 and 48,
Read 47, 40. And you're right, but you don't know it's the spiritual part of it.
Read all of them together.
Read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 47.
Check this out, my brother.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
Because we didn't serve the Lord with joyfulness and gladness of heart back in our homeland, because we had self-hatred, because we wanted to commit adultery, because we didn't want to keep marriages, right? Read.
For the abundance of all things.
Most High God gave us everything when we were in the land, right? So you are right in a way. It is our fault. But there's a spiritual reason behind it. Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So God said, because we didn't do these things, He said we're going to serve our enemies. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Which God sent against us. That's why the Europeans came against us.
Right.
Because God said, God saw we weren't keeping the commandments, so He allowed them to overtake us.
Right.
He allowed them to enslave us. Now, I'm going to, was there more? There was
Yes,
more.
sir.
Read.
In hunger.
In hunger.
And in thirst.
And in thirst.
And in nakedness. And in want of all things.
Now, because we didn't keep the commandments, God stripped all that from us. Now we got to go to the other nations for everything. All right? That's the spiritual reason behind it. So yes, you are, in a way, you are absolutely correct. It was our fault, but it wasn't the way you thought. It's because we didn't keep God's commandments. All right? Is there more?
A little more.
And this person, all right, read,
shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Now, my brother Mike, who did that to us in history?
Yeah, well, the Europeans, actually, it began with the Portuguese.
Portuguese?
They were the middlemen.
Same people.
And
Portuguese, same people.
Spain was largely involved in transatlantic slavery.
There you go.
It spread to the New World, which is what we call America. And it's a whole intricate kind of a thing.
It's in the Bible. But you said Portuguese. Guess what? It's the same people.
Right.
It's the different names, same people. And we're gonna explain that too, okay? But you're right. What you're talking about, it happened.
Actually,
We used to scream Black Power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.